of our most visible known thought leaders is Toby Gray. Thank you, Toby, for taking the time out to interview with us and to explain to us what exactly a thought leader in your mind is.
My pleasure. I appreciate you asking.
So I have a couple questions for you just to share with our management team here. What is your idea of a thought leader in respect to growing the fulfillment center business?
So it's a great question because I think it'll be all of our responsibilities to become thought leaders, to be good at not just showing up every day and doing what we're told or what the playbook says, but thinking outside the box. And one of the things that I think is important for thought leaders to understand is there's a concept I talk about sometimes about the archer and the arrow. And here's what I mean by that. There are leaders that are good arrows. If you point them at something and you turn them loose, they'll do their job and they'll hit the target. And there's a value in that. That's important in our organization. But somebody's got to direct the arrow. And if you have too few archers or people who are thinking and finding the targets and solving problems, then you get in trouble. And so I think all of our leaders need to develop into archers, people who can judge the wind and the distance and read the situation and do all the things that you have to do. That's not the arrow's job, it's the archer's. And so I use that analogy as just to talk about there is a sense of ownership we all have to think outside of our daily reality and say, hey, how do I make this better for my associates, for our customers, and be thoughtful in what needs to change.
So we need a great balance of the arrows and the archers.
Yeah, I think you've got to have people doing all types of jobs. When I build a leadership team, I give a whole lot of thought to who do we have on it and who do we need on it. We can't have everybody who's this cloud in the sky visionary because somebody's got to have their nose to the grindstone. But we can't have everybody who just shows up and does what Mitch tells them or what Toby tells them because Toby and Mitch aren't that smart, right? You've got to have a whole lot of people doing the thinking for you. So balance is important. Anytime we have an opening in any leadership position, we have two questions. One is, who's the best performer that has the potential to do it, and then what's our team need? And both those are important. If you have the first pick in the draft, you can't take a quarterback every year, even with a known player, because you've already got quarterbacks. You've got to balance that out.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on diversifying our leadership as of other parts of the industry?
I think diversity of thought is really important. And I think if you work hard to get diversity of thought, you naturally get diversity in ways that other people view diversity. But we have to be really careful that we don't promote everybody from within, because then everybody thinks the same way. We can't hire everybody from one company because then everybody thinks the same way. And Alex will be here this next week and is going to have meetings with the managers. And he talks about 4 buckets, and he really does a good job articulating. You need external hires from the industry, you need internal promotes, you need internal transfers, and you need hires out of college. And you really need a balance of those 4. And if you do that well, you'll find that you've got a great diversity of thought where people are challenging each other and seeing things differently. I learned, and he talked about this, but I learned probably the most from managing a field engineer out of college named Khadijah that was in my building in Brooksville. She thought so different. And at first it kind of drove me nuts and it challenged you, but then you realize that, man, they're good thought processes, and it caused me to grow as a leader and help teach me a lot. So I think it's important that you have totally different thought processes on your leadership team.
You had mentioned once about hard to get along with people, how that was valuable as well.
I love leaders that make everybody uncomfortable. And if you've worked here, you can probably think, yeah, I know, I can think of a few of those. And I think that one of the worst things, Patrick Lencioni wrote a book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. And one of the things he writes about that kills more teams than anything is false harmony. There's nothing worse than having a meeting where things aren't going well, or people don't necessarily agree and everybody's nodding their head like they do. You have to have people that are super comfortable with conflict, that create a little bit of turmoil. Meetings without conflict are almost not worth having. And think about a movie. Nobody wants to watch a movie with no drama, right? And meetings have to almost be the same way. And in our relationships at work, it should never be personal, and it should never be disrespectful. And at times those lines get crossed because people are passionate about what they do. But I would rather have a leader that I have to reel in and say, hold on, you were too intense on those people, than somebody who just goes along with everything. Because we got to challenge each other. And people are really, leaders who aren't secure in who they are can get real uncomfortable having leaders that do that working for them. Because I don't want those leaders to just challenge everybody else. I want them to challenge me. I want them to tell me when they think I'm wrong and push back. And that's, you gotta have a comfort level with yourself as a leader, and you have to be comfortable saying, hey, this might not be my thought, but it's thought. And that's what we want. We want people thinking, and even if 9 out of 10 of their ideas are outlandish and wrong, the one good one when they think different than you is worth it.
Right. So people we respect most challenge us to be better.
I think so, and I think I was in Atlanta having a general meeting and kind of put it this way to them: if you think back to the best teacher you ever had, they had really high standards and held you accountable. If you think back to the best coach you ever had, it wasn't the one that